In New York, fraud does not require stealing money. It does not require a victim to lose anything, and it does not require a criminal charge. That legal reality is what led to one of the most significant civil fraud cases in modern American history, the civil fraud case against Donald Trump and the Trump Organization. This case was brought by the New York Attorney General, not federal prosecutors. It was a civil case, not a criminal one. The allegation was simple in theory, but serious in consequence, that Donald Trump and his company repeatedly inflated the value of their assets on official financial statements. According to the state, those inflated numbers were then used to obtain better loan terms and insurance coverage. At the center of the case were annual statements of financial condition. These documents listed Trump's properties, cash holdings, and net worth. Banks and insurers relied on these statements when deciding how much risk to take. The state argued that many of the listed values were not just optimistic, they were false. The court examined several properties. Among them were luxury apartments, golf courses, and commercial real estate holdings. Prosecutors argued that some properties were valued as if they could be developed when they legally could not be. Others were allegedly overstated by hundreds of millions of dollars. The judge found that these valuations were not accidental. A key issue in the case was intent. Under New York law, fraud occurs when false information is knowingly used to gain a financial advantage. It does not matter whether the loans were repaid. It does not matter whether the banks complained. What matters is whether the financial statements were misleading and whether they were used. The judge ruled that Donald Trump and the Trump Organization were liable for civil fraud. The ruling stated that the evidence showed repeated and intentional misrepresentation of asset values. As a result, the court imposed major financial penalties and restrictions on business operations within New York. Again, this was a civil judgment, not a criminal conviction. Trump appealed the decision. An appellate court later ruled that while the finding of fraud could stand, the financial penalty imposed by the trial court was excessive. This reduced or removed the immediate penalty, but did not erase the fraud finding itself. The legal battle remains ongoing. This case drew national attention because it challenged a long-standing belief in business culture that exaggeration is normal. The court made clear that when exaggeration crosses into official financial documents, it becomes a legal risk, especially when those documents influence money, credit, or insurance. The Trump civil fraud case is not just about one person. It is a reminder that paperwork matters, numbers matter, and financial statements carry legal consequences. In the eyes of the law, fraud does not require theft, only deception. Do you agree with the court's decision? Do you think the judgment would have been different if it was an ordinary citizen? Let me know in the comment. Subscribe and follow for more money crimes and law episodes.